When I first started using this card, I thought it was the best financial product that I'd ever seen. The ability to go back in time with transactions was just revolutionary. And in my opinion, it's still the best feature of Curve and probably the only reason that I still use the Curve card. Now, this is the Curve Metal card, and this is the highest tier of all the different tiers you can get with Curve. We've got a standard free card, which is obviously free. We've got the Curve X, which is £5.99. We've got the Curve Black, which is £9.99, and we've got the Metal, which is now £17.99. Used to be £14.99, but the prices have just changed. Now, I cannot justify that price of £17.99 anymore. I mean, even £14.99 was quite a lot of money, but I thought for what I was getting out of it at the time, it was worth the money, but now not so much. And I'll tell you why. One of the best features for me with the Curve Metal card was the insurance. So you got mobile phone insurance, you got travel insurance, and you got car hire excess insurance. So last November I went to Rome on a trip, and I hired a car for I think 4 or 5 days. Now, it was out of season being November, so the car price was quite cheap. However, when it comes to then adding on insurance, which they always advise that you get, it bumped the price up considerably, almost double. In fact, I think it was more than double. It was about £30. No, it was about £15 a day for the car, which over the course of 4 days was 60 quid. But then with the insurance on top of that, I think the insurance was about £80, so it came to £140. With the Curve card, that was covered. I rang up Curve ahead of the time, checked with them, and they said, yeah, you're covered, so you don't need to take out additional insurance with the car hire company. Brilliant. So that saved me money, and obviously the travel insurance as well. Mobile phone insurance is not something that I would normally purchase, never have in the past, but the fact that it came with Curve was, you know, a good benefit, so I used it. But now, since they've taken away a lot of those benefits, I think it was the end of December, 31st of December, a lot of the benefits ceased, and those benefits ceased. We no longer get insurance with this card. Now, the other benefits are, obviously, you get cash back on, it was 6 retailers, but now they are giving it on 12 retailers. So instead of having the insurance, you now get an additional 6 retailers, which, you know, 1% on a retailer is not much at all. If you think about it, for every £1,000 you spend, you're only getting £10 back. Now, I don't know if I spend even £1,000 on my Curve card every month. And by Curve card, I mean spread across all my debit and credit cards. I don't think I spend over £1,000. So in that case, the maximum I could get back is £10 every single month. Is it worth it? Not really, not in my opinion. Not for £17.99. According to Curve, they said that they asked what the people wanted, and the people said they wanted more cash back. I don't believe anybody said we don't want the insurance, but it seems that that's what they've taken from this exercise. They don't want the insurance. Now, that's not the case with me. I do want the insurance. I think it was the second best feature with Curve, other than the go back in time feature. So really not worth using anymore. Now, I do think the Curve card is a really, really good product, and the idea behind it, the go back in time feature, like I said, is the only reason I will use this card now. But I can do that on the Curve X plan, and that's only £5.99, which is going to save me 12 quid every single month. The £12 difference between the two, I'm not going to gain back in cash back, I don't think. I'll get £10 cash back. If I look at the Curve X, you've still got, well, you don't get any cash back at all on the Curve X actually, so I won't even be making that £10 back every month. But the £9.99 one, I would, and still save myself £8. But, you know, for the sake of £10, I might as well just go straight down to the £5.99 Curve X. Now, I would go to the free card. The only reason I don't is because you can only associate 3 cards with your Curve card. Now, for those of you who don't already use Curve, I am assuming that most of you use the Curve card already, so you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically the way Curve works is you have the card, you have an app that's associated with the card, you add your other debit cards and credit cards to the app, and then you can choose which card you spend on when you use this card. So let's say I've got a debit card in my Curve app and I've got a credit card. I can go into a retailer, I can use this card and I can choose, does that payment come from a debit card or does it come from a credit card? At a later date, I can then decide, actually, I don't want to spend that money on my credit card, I want to spend it on my debit card, and I can transfer that payment over. It's called go back in time, and you can move that payment from one card to another card. Now, the benefit of that for me and for many other users is that if you use crypto debit cards, for example, that offer cashback rewards or rebate rewards, with those crypto cards you don't always have a balance on them because they are top-up cards, which means when you come to spend in a shop, you know, on a whim, you might just be out and about and you want to spend something, you might not have funds available on your crypto debit card. So what you can do is you can use your Curve card, you can spend it on your Visa card or another card that you always have funds on, and then you can top up your crypto debit card when you get back home, and then you can transfer that payment over at a later date. And then obviously you're going to benefit from the rewards offered by your crypto debit card. In my case, it's usually the Plutus card. Sometimes it's the crypto.com card. Now, speaking of Plutus, I will be doing an updated video on that because I was on, the plan I was on with Plutus gave me 3 perks and 3% cash back. Things have changed with Plutus as well, and their reward structure is not as good, so I am going to be changing my plan with Plutus, so I will be talking about that in another video coming soon, so keep your eyes open for that if you're a Plutus card user. But getting back to Curve, I just don't think that this is good value for money anymore. You still get the airport lounge with this, but again, airport lounge, it's not like it's free. You still got to pay £20, I believe it is, per person for the lounge. Obviously, it's a good saving, but it's not, in my opinion, for the amount of times I go to the airport, it's not, in my opinion, worth £17.99 to pay for that. I do have the crypto.com J Green Visa card, which means I get 4 free visits to airport lounges anyway, so makes this one redundant. I really only use this for my partner, so if my partner went to the lounge with me, then she would get access for £20 instead of 40 or whatever it is, 50% off. But I can live without that for the amount of times that we go to the airport together. Everything else, all the other benefits, you know, obviously like the transaction fees, etc. If you're traveling abroad, again, not really worth it for me. So I don't really see much benefit in having the Curve Metal plan anymore. You know, obviously the card's a nice card, but I still get to use this one until it expires, which is the 2027. So I still get to use this card anyway, even if I drop my plan to the Curve X. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I am really disappointed with Curve, I'll be honest with you. And it's the same with most of these card companies. You know, they start off with a great premise. They start off with great rewards. And I understand that things are not always, you know, we can't always, things have to change sometimes. But I just don't believe when they said that they've asked the users of the card what they want, that anybody has said that we don't want this insurance, because I think for me that was the second biggest benefit. In fact, it was probably financially, it was probably the biggest benefit in terms of financial reward, but in terms of functionality and usage, I still think the go back in time feature is the best feature of Curve and the reason why I will still use it, but it's not the best in terms of an actual financial benefit. That was with the insurance as far as I'm concerned, and now that that's been taken away, I don't think I will be paying £17.99 anymore. That leads me on to the final point, in that a lot of people have been saying that they've been contacting customer support asking to downgrade from metal to black or to Curve X or whichever plan they want to go on, and customer support is just terrible. You get an automated response saying, well, basically that's the first thing, is you can't downgrade within the app. You can upgrade by no problem. You can just click on upgrade and you can go on to the next plan up, or the highest plan if you want. You just can't do it the other way around. And there's a reason for that, isn't there? But you've got to contact customer support. You have to send them a message through the app, or you have to send them an email, and the response time, from what I've been reading, is very, very poor, if they respond at all. And most people have pretty much been stuck on the plan. I guess the only way around that would be to cancel your card that's registered with Curve, so you don't get automatically charged, but then that brings all sorts of other problems with it anyway. So Curve, you need to up your game, I think, with the customer support, because if you're not going to give people the ability to downgrade within the app itself, then you need to be on the ball and respond to people as and when they're sending those emails. So that's all I've got to say really about Curve. It's very disappointing. Not everything, I get, some of these benefits are not always sustainable, but for the amount it probably costs Curve as a company to take out, bulk insurance policies with AXA, I believe it was with. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't believe that people have said that they don't want the insurance, even though Curve have kind of suggested that's why they've taken it away, because the people don't want it. I don't believe that for a second. And customer support is pretty poor. You need to get your act together. Because you are going to lose a lot of revenue, I think, from people dropping from the highest tier down to lower tiers, or even the free version, or even cancelling at all and not bothering using it, because other than the go back in time feature now, there's not really much benefit to this Curve card at all. And I don't think it'll be too long before somebody else comes along with a similar product that allows you to do the same thing and offers much better rewards. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found it useful. If you did, as always, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.